Hi, my name is Kumar Sky, and in this video, I'm going to give you a tutorial about the yin yoga pose called Straddle. Sometimes it's also called Dragonfly. So this one is a really great opener for the hips, the groin, and the backs of the thighs. It's also a really nice opening for the MCL, so the ligament in the insides of the knees. All right, so this is one also that can, if you have sciatica, it can aggravate it. So you want to make sure that you're sitting probably on two folded blankets or on a bolster. So your hips are definitely higher than your knees. So like in the other video I showed you, we want to always be sitting on a blanket because as we come off of the blanket, so this is just me on the blanket, you can see plenty of blanket here. I'm coming off the blanket, so my pelvis naturally tilts forward. So this is the pose. If you're feeling stretching here, this is where the edge is in this pose. You can stay just right here. But for some people, they're not going to be feeling it as much. So you can start to lean forward. Make sure you keep your spine straight or your student's spine straight if they have any known lower back issues. Also, if you already do have trauma in your inner knee and you can feel that when you're doing this, bring your legs a little more together. That probably will help. So some ways of practicing. Here, let me just scoot back a little bit. So some ways of practicing with this one. One of my students' favorites is just to have this bolster here and lean in. Remember, we want to feel it right here. But you also might feel it in your hips, your lower backs, and maybe a little gentle tugging on the knees. Okay. Maybe after time goes by, you'll come down even farther. So that's just the basics if there's nothing bothering your body. So, other ways of practicing. Let's say that your hamstrings are just not going to let you do this. You can simply bend your knees and come forward. But I've also got these blocks ready for here. So that can be really helpful to people that just can't really get anywhere with this one. Okay. This is also a really nice place to do some more of the wrist and hand kind of things. You can do eagle arms while you sit here. So lots of ways to also give your upper body some yin. Like I said, most people are going to really benefit from sitting up on some height. Okay? So we can also add some other poses from straddle pose. So you could bring one leg in and just do a single straddle coming forward, coming over the leg. Okay. But you can also do that with both legs open. So you might turn the torso and come forward. A lot of times the people will find having the bolster here is really helpful. You can also turn away from the leg, and I went over all of this in half butterfly. So you can come through, putting the black here or here. So now we're also adding this nice lateral stretch. Another cool thing about this pose is it can totally be done at the wall. So this is a great way if you yourself or your students if they can't really do this pose, it's not comfortable, they're not really getting anywhere with it, try it at the wall. So all you do, come up to the wall. If someone was having a really hard time with this, you might just start them here. Are they feeling it in the intended edge area? This is perfect. Otherwise, you can do it here at the wall. You might, I can't reach the blocks, but here's one. So you might have them put a block here so their leg doesn't go even more. Obviously put one on both sides, but this is just such a great way to make this pose a lot more accessible. So just check it out, see which way you like better. So the counter poses for this one would be the glorious windshield wipers. So these. You also could do like a little seated back bend, like lifting the chest and letting the head, so I'm arching the back here. Also a great counter pose. The meridians affected are the urinary bladder because the backs of the legs, the liver and kidney, the groin, and the spleen is affected by stressing the knees in that way. Our hold time with this one can really vary. It just depends on how your body's feeling, how you like this pose. I know I really like this one, and sometimes I could just like stay in it for 10 minutes. So the hold time would be between 3 minutes and 10 minutes. Another really great one to do if you're watching a movie or a show or something and you're just kind of hanging out instead of slumping on the couch, just try doing the straddle pose for like 10 minutes. But make sure you give yourself some time to do a counter pose. So after you've been sitting here for like 10 minutes, just make sure you lean back into your hands. Actually, in all cases, lean back into the hands and then just bringing the legs together, and then maybe starting in on some windshield wipers. Most people will really like the windshield wipers with this one. So that is the straddle and dragonfly or dragonfly pose in yin yoga. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.